Dear Jared, let's talk about the week you've had. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another life of In the Life of Jared vlog. Um, let's get into it. I just had like a whole idea on another twist I want to do with my YouTube videos. Like these things just come to me. Anyways, let's get into it. So today's the 24th of February, 2025, and it is MASH. It's Republic Day Part 2. Now, why am I calling it Republic Day Part 2? In Guyana, whenever a holiday falls on a Sunday, it goes over to a Monday. I always said I'm going to do research as to why that is so. I never did, but I'm going to do it. Because this year we have a lot of like holidays like that's fall on a Sunday, go over to a Monday, or fall on a Friday. So we get like 3-day weekends, and that's amazing. Now, usually, I've been doing a great job at making these videos on Sundays. Now, but what happened yesterday? From church, I went home, I ate some food, and I then had my therapy. So I try to do therapy once every month. I started it in September. So this is my 6th month, my 6th session I had yesterday of therapy. And it has been good, and it has helped me a lot. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So it's something I want to keep doing. At the time when I started therapy, I was in a very dark place mentally. And a day like today, I'm in a 360 place, like a totally different place, a way better place, and I'm so grateful. And you know, the sessions haven't ideally been what I would have envisioned, but it's different. Like I thought it would be sessions where I'm like crying and pouring out my heart and every little thing, but like that's not what it is, or what my experience has been. But it has been very fruitful, and I look forward to it. I think I have to start normalizing the conversation about therapy, because whenever I talk about it, people like this, it's people. I think a lot of Guyanese, calm down. A lot of Guyanese, I find, whenever I tell them I'm in therapy, it's like this, you're in therapy, like what happened to, like they just make it this whole, and I know what's happening is because it's still an ever-growing phenomenon in our country. People are still getting comfortable with the idea of talking to someone about their problems, and it's just about, it's not even your problems. Like, let me tell you what my therapist would do when she come to the session. Hi, good afternoon, Jared. How are you? What do you want us to talk about today? That's literally how the session start, and the discussion starts at a point where the hour would run out, and it's like time is up. So they have been very fruitful in helping me. I'm not going to lie, and I'm so happy that I would have started having those sessions. I took some money from my salary increase that I received last year when I started getting paid as a graduate SAM, and I'm using some of that money to pay for my therapy. And I am so proud of myself for investing in my mental health. All right, so that's that. So from therapy, I my brother and my cousin came back home with the chicken, the KFC chicken. This is not a paid ad. And then I ate some chicken, and then I just felt tired. Since in therapy, I was just feeling a bit tired, and I went to bed. So by the time I got him, I think it was 4 something, almost 5. The church next now, usually right now I'm making this video for my church. That's what I always do, right? I just like to come over, and because you see at home I don't have like my own room for myself. So I would come over to church, but when no one is usually here at the time I'd come over and I'd make these videos. But the church next door, they had some kind of activity, and it was loud. So I knew if I had come over, you would have been hearing that background noise. And I waited, but by the time they were done, I was not going to come over to church at that time in the night. So I said, you know what, I'll just make the video on Monday. Now, if I had my way, I would have made the video way earlier. But today, let me tell you what happened. I never went to bed till after like 2. because I was watching the SAG Awards on Netflix. I wish more awards would do things like on the app. Um, it was amazing because let me tell you, since I've been a young child, I love watching award shows. You hear me? I talk about I gotta see how the Oscars, where is it showing and how I could watch it because I love watching award shows. Since I'm small, I love watching award shows. So I watch the SAG Awards, and then I would have done some writing because, like I said, I'm writing book two, and I'm just finding my way as I'm writing. And I want to push myself to write a book that is definitely remains true, honest, but in length, I want it to be a bit thicker. I'm not gonna lie. Like I wanted my last book, I think it was 100 or something. I don't think it reached 300 or 200. That last book, I don't think so. This book, I'd be happy if it could reach like 300 in terms of content, or even if it's two something in terms of, and let's putting aside the other pages, and two something in terms of content, in terms of the chapters. So I am pushing myself. I'm writing. I'm just writing. Let's just say that I am writing. So the goal is every day to sit and write something. I don't always meet the goal every day, but most days I sit and I write. And I'm telling you, I this year I'm being honest with myself. When I'm writing, I just I know that's something I'm supposed to be doing with my life and time. That's something I am supposed to be doing with my life and my time. And I'm coming to realize that as I continue to grow and evolve and work towards the things I want, in grabbing what I would like, the things that are for me, I gotta let go of the familiar. That's the truth. So, like professionally, I realize there's certain things I'm going to have to let go of in the coming months. As I go to the end of my contract, there's certain things I'm gonna just have to release. Certain things I'm gonna just have to let go, and just find my way from there. So I'm working towards that at the moment. So yes, that's what caused me nuts. I didn't even get to record my podcast. After I'm done with this video, I'm going to record my podcast. Um, I'm going to record the podcast episode for this week, and then I'm going to sit and do some work for my master's. Now, as you all know, in case you didn't know, I'm doing my master's in education. It is 8 modules, or as I like to say 8 courses. It's 8 modules, and I'm at the third module. Now, the module ends this week on the 2nd of March, but there's a time difference between me and the country that this is being offered through. Let me mute this. Sorry about that, people. Let me mute my other devices. Yeah, it's a time difference. So I want to finish this essay by Friday and so on to submit. Now, it's 3 essays I have to do. One for 1,000 word, one for 1,500, next one 2,500. I haven't started yet, and the truth is because I have some help. Two of my friends who did the program, they sent me their past essays. Now, for me, I don't ever copy nobody work wholesale. One time I ever did that when I went to UG, and hear this laugh. And the same lecturer, when she marked it for the girl, she had given her an A for it. At least that's what the girl. No, she gave her an A because I had the physical assignment. And when she marked mine, gave me 14. Gave the girl 15, gave me 14. I just laughed. I was like, that's crazy. Anyways, but I don't copy people's work. I would use it as an inspiration and like as a guide on how to do mine. So I'm going to be doing that. And the goal is today, by time I'm ready to leave church this evening, because now it's afternoon time, I want to finish the first 2 essays. And then I'll use the rest of the time I have in the nights that I have in this week to work piece on the and actually, Thursday, I'm going to be home on Thursday as well, Gospel Life. Thursday, I could finish off the last essay and then just reread it one more time and submit. So that's the goal. Right now, I would have covered. Last week I had a lot of work to do, like a lot of backlog, and God has helped me to clear that backlog off. So when I tell you, in my mind, I feel so free because it's like I don't like when I get work past June. Like even if it's marked nothing I don't like. I like do work at when I'm supposed to do it. And now that I'm feeling so free, what I've told myself, like for the remaining of the semester, most of my classes I'm teaching, the students have to do practical teaching. So as they teach, by marking right there on the spot, and I'm inputting the scores because I don't want when it comes down to the end of the semester that I am bored down with a lot of stuff. I have another month of full lecturing and so on, and I intend to just push through by God's grace and do what I have to do. I guess the last thing I want to talk about in my life updates would be that, on Thursday, something happened to me where I saw a post from someone that I was close with 2 years ago. And in the picture, it was quite evident that that person had moved on to someone else. And I knew that they would have moved on. When I see the person, we only interface on a church basis. When I see the person, it's not even good morning or anything. It's more about like in the context of church, if we got anything to say to each other, that's it. A lot of times we don't have anything to say to each other because that's just what we've both decided needs to happen. But I was of the impression that I was over this individual and over everything. But when I saw the image, it triggered me. And I remember asking myself, because like I tell you, this year I'm being super self-aware on my emotional intelligence. I'm telling myself, I'm like, I'm asking myself, why are you bothered? You know? I know this battle don't look good, but people like I can't give up this battle. I love this battle. My friends give it to me as a birthday gift, I think 2 years ago. I just love this. You hear me? So sorry about that, people. Yeah. I thought I moved on from it. So I saw it on their sibling status, one sibling. Then as I continue moving about WhatsApp, I saw it on another sibling status. Okay. Then I saw it on another sibling status. Okay. It's like each time it's cutting a little deeper. And somewhere that I know would have sent the image to me as well. I guess they probably didn't know that I saw it already. So that cut again. There's one, two, three, four times. And then one of the siblings made a post with like a shady caption. And because I'm already sensitive to the issue, I felt like she was trying to put a jab at me. No, I have had a past where when people do those things, I would put a post very shady, not calling you out literally, but I'm calling you out and I'm jabbing you. But at the same time, I remember saying to myself, you know what? I remember saying to myself, like I'm literally processing this thing back with y'all. I remember saying to myself, don't do that. You'll have your moment, and I always have to remind myself that like my life is beautiful. Sometimes when we're in it, and I have this problem, I don't really be present in a lot of the things I'm doing. Like, I always get fixated on my next. And for me, I've observed that how do I say this? I, this year is going to make 8 years since I've been an educator, right? But right now I'm 7 years and a couple months in. And after 7 years, what I have accomplished, I've seen people who've been teaching for twice the amount of time like me not be there or now at this place. So it's not lost on me that the favor of God has carried me in my career. That when I started teaching in the first position I had as an AM, I spent 3 years in that position. Then I became a TGM. I spent 3 years as a TGM. Then I moved on to GSAM. I spent a year and I'm probably a month, 2 months to GSAM, and now I'm a lecture too. So like, it's not lost on me, my trajectory. When I think about, okay, I have a car, When I was young, I never thought because no one in my close family, my mother never drove a car. My sister, as I have a sister that's older than I am, never drove a car. My father drives a bus, but I don't live with my father, so it's not. It's like I didn't grow up in close proximity to people I know driving and being given opportunity to drive a car. So went to be able to buy a car, but yes, I have my monthly installments, but buy a car. Um, I never thought about that. I am academically, like I said, I'm doing my master's degree and I have done a lot of iconic things in my life. I'm a self-published author. I'm proud of that. I'm always seeking out new opportunities for growth in ministry. I have done a lot. So like I have so many, there's a song, I got miracles and miracles. A million little miracles, elevation worship. I could use the song as a testimony for my life. But at the same time, what is it in me that is so fixated on what has not been? Because anything or person I've lost, time has shown that they are replaced with something better, someone better. So like I just have to work through this thing. Um, and a lot of that discussion took over my therapy session yesterday because that's what really bothered me. And I just have to work through it. I have to work through it. And may God just help me. Yeah, may God just help me. Because I don't want my mind to be filled. I ain't gonna lie to you, rage is something that fuels me. Um, and maybe I just have to look at it a different way. Like, you know what? Let the rage fuel you to keep pushing yourself. When I start my postgrad, it's unique. I guess I'll wrap up with this. I remember that individual told me once that, I put my worth in my academics. And I was offended when they said that. I didn't reprimand them in the moment. I just listened to them. So when I got my postgrad, I called the individual out, not out of their name, but I alluded to the situation. They were very upset. And we end up having a whole conversation about it. But that said individual ended up deleting this is their words, they deleted my number, my chat, because they felt disrespected and they started putting up boundaries with me. But in my mind, I'm like, you putting up boundaries with me? That's crazy. Like in this situation, I felt like you have been the one to be manipulative and abusive towards me. It didn't trigger me. But when I noticed some things that happened in the months after in terms of them, I feel like they shared their side of the story with a lot of people because I noticed a lot of people last year to around that time like shift from me. I'm very sensitive to people's energy and people's perception of me changed, and it was quite evident. And I remember around my birthday some false stuff happened, and I was like, oh. And then I had a brief encounter with them again where they kept talking about putting a boundaries. So I guess in their mind, they're thinking that you disrespect me, so I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me again. But what's weird, when they were doing all these other things to me, I didn't have the courage to put up that kind of boundaries. But I'm at that point in my life now where I'm just ready. Like I told my therapist, I said I'm just ready for a change of environment, a change of environment that comes with a different job, different location, different everything, so that I don't have to be around these people, and so that I could heal away from them, so that whenever I do return to visit, um, I'm in a different place and they're in a different place. But like with everything in life, I always say God and time. I'm gonna work on letting go. I'm gonna learn on moving on because you know what? I am just believing for great things in my life. And I'm telling you, I will testify. And they will watch me ascend in life. And they will understand. And I'm saying they because not just individual, the people around them will understand that when I was around them, they fumbled the bag big time. And now that I know my worth and I have self respect for myself, I'm not going to allow you all to treat me anyhow. And that's why going forward, I've decided that I'm going to be dealing with people a lot differently. I'm going to be a lot quieter. I'm going to let that internal peace that I have most days reflect on the outside and how I deal with people now. And I'm going to just keep my social media right now about promoting what I have going on, which is my podcast. I'm going to keep, on my WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, keep posting my podcast because I would like the views on that to go up. I'm going to keep making my videos on different things, and I'm going to trust that God will use what I have in my hand and multiply it. So, what am I saying to you, Jared, in this video? I'm saying to you, stay the course. Don't crash out. Be the bigger person. Your time will come.